Welcome to my April 2021 update on my game Drone Alone. Here I'm showing the updated title screen that just helps convey the main theme of the game, which is being lost in space and alone. And that's a bit reinforced as well when you start the game itself. This month I've spent some time creating more assets, some crates. This one is based on a disabled drone, for example. So I don't show it here, but basically you can, this one's locked, for example, and there's a little puzzle to unlock it, which I've showed in previous videos. Here's just kind of the look of it. And this is how I created it using physics, basically, to give it that kind of fallen, broken shape. And I've also made some just regular rectangular cubic crates as well, that just help, fill up the detail in the game. Here I show some improvements to the UI, basically just implementing cascading menu systems, just to kind of help with organizing what you see. And the nice thing is as I add categories and subcategories, it was much easier to populate. And it's all based on the main database that's basically just a glorified Excel sheet that I have running in the background. But this does make it much easier to kind of navigate. You can now see completed tasks in the database tab, and the task tab will only have your current active tasks. Another update to the user interface is now when you're on certain tasks, there will be waypoints in game. So for this task, you have to go and scan asteroids. The task knows what an asteroid is, and it will add a little icon overlay on these asteroids. So far, I've only implemented. I've implemented so it can work with pretty much anything that a task requires. If a task requires you to go up to some other structure, for example, it knows what to find, and it will find local structures as you get close to them, for example. So for certain tasks, it just kind of finds things near you. For other tasks where you have to go to a specific location, for example, that will update without you having to be close by. So like here we can see the next task says, hey, can you go to the space station? And it puts a different colored icon on the space station itself in game. I've also implemented a system in game for space storms. These will be part of the story and also kind of help you give a sense of really being all by yourself in a dangerous place. This is just some early testing of it. For some reason the storm goes through certain objects even though it shouldn't. And if you have certain items equipped, you'll get a warning that an incoming storm, that there is an incoming storm. And it will give you kind of an indication of how long it will last. So here you can see it showing like how long it lasts. And if you do hide behind things, you can hide from the storms. And there are different kinds of storms here. This is just a meteor shower type of storm. I've created some more assets for dungeons. These are computers. You have computer terminals, servers, mainframes, supercomputers. They're all kind of inspired from old computers from the 80s that I used to really like when I was younger, except for the terminal. That's just one I designed myself. And yeah, and these are things that you'll mostly be able to interact with in game, as you can see here. So for example, here's an early progress through a dungeon, and you can see there's the servers, or kind of give you indications, and the terminals can be used to interact with them. And I have the option, obviously, to make them disabled. I started working on the terminal UI. We'll see more of that later. But terminals need power, so that's another section of this video that we'll see as well. part of the dungeons is that there will be small puzzles in them. This game doesn't have any combat, so I did want something to do than just going around mining. Unless that's what you want to do, you can just do that. So here is some early work again in a dungeon. And one of the puzzles is to restart the reactor. So you can get power in this dungeon station, basically. And that was the reactor. If you go back here, this is the reactor controls. And, reusing again some of my computer assets for this. And this terminal will give you the ability to start up the reactor, which will be just a little puzzle. And you'll have to find indication and hints to what is the sequence, the startup sequence, around the dungeon, on other places. And obviously, it has a correct sequence, which I'm not showing here because I might use it in game. I haven't decided yet. But just in case, I didn't want to show it here so people can actually discover it themselves. And this also gives some more look at the terminal user interface, which I kind of like. It has that retro vibe. And as you can see now, lights are on, the computers are on, the reactor has particle effects to show that it's running. So this is the terminal, kind of give an indication there. Okay, something's definitely going on here. And if we go back to the main reactor core, I have also started working on some early effects for the reactor core. Realistically, what's only left for the reactor core is texturing. I haven't done that yet. Everything else is kind of there. I'm quite happy with that. And then, of course, if you go back to the computer terminals that we were talking about earlier, and you can now interact with them. It's still work in progress, so there's not really much you can do, but there will be. Thank you very much for watching. Check out more at hellscoregames.com.